Welcome to Rising Tide Resilience. My name is Neil Wattier, resilience coach and trainer. Rising Tide Resilience is a skill-based learning community with discussions hosted in the closed Facebook group and videos also released on LinkedIn and an upcoming YouTube channel. I'm building a community which will be the source for personal resilience skill development. In 2007 World Health Statistics report, the World Health Organization called depression an important global public health problem. This is based on its prevalence and far-reaching effects, but even worse, the World Health Organization insists there is new research to establish post-traumatic stress occurs more often and carries far more serious consequences than was previously believed. Similar reports feed a widespread perception that stress and anxiety-related depression has recently skyrocketed. Resilience has been described and defined by many people. My definition of resilience is a collection of skills which enhance an individual's ability to grow and thrive through stress and adversity. Stress and adversity mean various things to different people. It could be talking about trauma, tragedy, or threats. It could be family and relationship conflicts or difficulties, serious health problems of self or others, or workplace or financial stressors. The resilience is a process or the capacity, and it's developed over time. It's a process of adaptation. You learn, you implement, review, revise, implement again. This can be practiced in low-stress environments and implemented over time. And growth is the most important part of my definition. It's the ability to reflect, self-awareness. Self-awareness leads to self-regulation. And it's, first of all, the willingness to be able to be aware, to consider your emotions, your reactions, your beliefs, and the things that influence you. The willingness to be able to review those things, to be aware of those, that leads to the regulation. That's what leads to resilience. Now, stress can be good. We can learn from our situations. We grow personally, become stronger, become more durable. But prolonged stress, chronic stress, which, when not addressed, can lead to long-term mental and physical issues. Simon Sinek has a very good discussion on YouTube, and he discusses what he calls the cortisol drip. Now, cortisol is a chemical naturally produced by the body. When the body is in a constant state of elevated stress, you have mental, physical, and emotional reactions. You can become paranoid. You can become hypersensitive. Physical changes can be an increased heart rate, and you can experience increased anxiety. The problem with chronic stress is it tends to shut down non-essential systems, and this can hamper growth and cause problems to your immune system. Now, those that are in a high-stress environment have been shown to become biologically less empathetic and generous to the people around them. They care less about other people because they're busy trying to protect themselves. And with non-essential systems being shut down, you now are talking about immune systems becoming compromised. In his example, Simon Sinek talks about animals. I think he uses an antelope as an example. An antelope gets spooked because it sees something in the distance, and it becomes spooked as a defense mechanism. And if it determines that there's danger, it runs. When it's safe from the danger, or the danger is no longer in the area, it calms down, it goes back to eating grass, drinking water, whatever it was doing before, and the stress is no longer there. So animals have this natural ability to erase stress when it's no longer needed, but humans have this prolonged stress that has a negative effect. This was also demonstrated by Robert Sapolsky, who is a Stanford University biologist, wrote a book called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, and he believed that stress leads to an increased risk of disease and disability. It's the idea that mental and emotional stress can have a significant physical side effect. So going back to my idea of coaching resilience, a mentor of mine often says, a rising tide raises all ships. I believe resilience improves well-being, and it is not a limited resource. Likewise, resilient skills are not for the select few with the right genes or just optimistic people. Everyone can become more resilient by learning and practicing ordinary skills. By starting this group, this community, I created a vision for rising tide resilience. It says to optimize human performance by providing holistic skill-based instruction, discussions, events, and resources, which strengthen individual, family, and team capability by reinforcing productive values, beliefs, and attitudes while educating people about the importance of building connections and being present, available, and attentive to support others. There's 4 things that I want to point out about that vision statement. First is optimize human performance. When most people that I talk to think of athletes, but if you think of what it takes to become a high-level athlete, it's more than physical. There's mental toughness. There's emotional regulation. And in the study of psychology, where they've started looking at sport and performance, we realize that these are things that are not just applicable to athletes. All people can benefit from enhancing their mental toughness, their emotional regulation. Next is skill-based development. Philosophical conversations can only go so far. More importantly, resilience is not a trait. It's a set of ordinary, commonly demonstrated skills that anyone can learn. And those that can regulate their behaviors, thoughts, and actions are going to experience more constructive results in their life. All these conversations that we should be that we're having should provide at least one skill that you can implement in your life immediately. So we're going to be focusing on skill-based development, not just having philosophical conversations about the benefits of resilience. Next is the emphasis on family, because yes, we're talking about resilience as an individual development, but families carry a heavy burden, and the skills apply to them also. Going along with that is connections. Humans are social creatures, and while rest and rejuvenation is productive, isolation is counterproductive, and we need to utilize resilience to enhance our connections and our relationships. There's significant benefit to working on improving your resilience. Increases well-being and life satisfaction, improved mental health, promotion of healthy behaviors, increased trust and social support, optimism, hope, and social skills through improved emotional intelligence. Increased resilience also decreases symptoms of depression, anxiety, mental health and substance abuse diagnosis, conduct problems, as well as hopelessness. Now, resilience is not a substitute for counseling or therapy. And this is very important to understand that this supplements and enhances the complementary resources that are often provided by professional counselors or therapists. Also, resilience is not to be confused with stress management programs. Stress management helps pinpoint areas of stress and establish positive coping mechanisms. This is a skill within resilience. Resilience provides the next steps to grow through stress and adversity. And we promote resilience through positive thinking, positive affect, coping mechanisms, realism, behavioral control, positive climate, connections, relationships, and healthy boundaries. And it's applied in many different ways, including marriage, parenting, work, business, sports, and competition. There's also a lot of myths associated with resilience. Some people believe that resilient individuals don't show emotion, or that it's only about the individual. I've also heard people talk about resilience is you just have to handle everything on your own. It's really, really strong people. It's always about acting fast. Resilient people are always composed, that you have it or you don't, or that resilient people just never burn out. They just have those traits or those inherent gifts associated with being strong and just being able to make it through things. But the fact is that resilience allows you to regulate your emotion. It's not about not showing emotion. You just understand your emotions and how to apply them constructively. Also, it's not about individuals. We talk a lot about connections and relationships, and you don't have to handle everything on your own. Asking for help is a resilience strategy. You have to understand the power of others and understand what they can lend to you, and you can learn from them. And you always have to act fast. Sometimes it's beneficial to slow down. In fact, rejuvenation and rest are resilience strategies. As far as being fully composed, resilience is not always pretty. Some days are very, very ugly. Resilient people get very flustered also. And this is not a trait. Everyone can develop resilient skills. And as far as resilient people never burning out, it's not that they may not burn out. You just don't see it. They're able to rejuvenate, because rejuvenation fuels resilience. It's the ability to understand when you need to slow down, take a break, take some extra rest, and find out those things that do rejuvenate you, whether it's reading, extra rest, exercise, or a hobby. And there's also a lot of resources that are involved when we talk about having other people help us. On a regular season NFL roster, after all cuts are made, an NFL team has 53 active players. I looked on the New England Patriots website, and they list 20 coaches, 20 distinct coaches, and this does not include interns, doctors, psychologists, other coaches that may not be listed on that particular page, which leads to about 20 to 30 performance professionals on an NFL team. So you're looking at approximately a 2-to-1 or possibly better player to coach ratio. And you're talking about elite level, world-class athletes. This is providing them a great opportunity for small group, one-on-one focused attention. So my question to you is, who's coaching you? Who is your mentor? Who's on your team? And what are your resources? Because even these top-level athletes are not expected to do it on their own. They have an army of coaches, psychologists, doctors that are helping them through this. And the focus on resilience will allow you to shift from intervention to prevention, from illness to wellness. And so, as I said before, I'm not going to have philosophical conversations that don't include skills that you can implement. So I'm going to provide you the first skill that I want you to work on. And the first skill that we're going to talk about is gratitude. Robert Emmons was one of the most prominent researchers on gratitude. He described gratitude as a sense of wonder, thankfulness, and appreciation for life. So why is there so much focus on negativity? We're always focused on our problems, and we're always focused on our disappointments. Well, he came up with, there's a negativity bias. It's a naturally occurring defense mechanism in humans and animals, because negative events pose a real chance of danger. And this helped in historical survival of humans. And we have to be aware of our influencers, because our current negativity bias is often associated with cultural and social influencers, not necessarily physical danger. So we might be focusing on media, including social media, and it's a constant influx, and it's often focused on the negative, and it narrows our thinking and our experiences, and it takes a strong effort to counteract this negativity bias. And gratitude affects our awareness of the lens in which we view the world. In another video, Sean Acor it was a TED Talk called The Happy Secret to Better Work. He discussed changing the lens. Change the lens in which you view the world allows you to change your happiness, which in turn changes the outcomes. And it's about the reality. If somebody knows your external world, they can only predict 10% of your long-term happiness. 90% of your long-term happiness is predicted by the way your brain processes the world. But gratitude is more than think happy thoughts and you'll feel better. Memes, quotes, motivational videos, these are all tools within the gratitude skill. The essence of gratitude is allowing you to recall your daily positive events. And there's a very scientific approach to this. You understand the methods and techniques to increase your well-being and your happiness, and you have to identify how it works best for you. And frequency is important here. Now, the benefits of frequently focusing on gratitude is it improves your health and your sleep. It'll help you with progress towards your goals. It'll strengthen your relationships because people who feel gratitude toward others feel closer and report better relationships. And that's even if they don't express the gratitude toward the other person. Those that do express the gratitude toward another person, they feel more positive towards that person and they feel more comfortable expressing concerns about the relationship. Gratitude also promotes positive thinking. People may be more naturally focused on positive or negative. Focusing on gratitude can help shift your emphasis or enhance your focus on positive events. Become more creative and open-minded. You're more open to new information and you recover more quickly from stressors. Positive emotions are the fuel for resilience, and gratitude will help turn your focus towards positive. There's a practical exercise that you can do that will help cultivate gratitude. In Army's resilience training, they call this hunt the good stuff. The skill creates or enhances your positive emotion. It helps you notice and analyze good things. It's most helpful if you use it as a regular practice. What I want you to do is write down 3 good things or events from the past 24 hours. And in order to turn this into a regular habit, I want you to find a pad of sticky notes and a pen, and I want you to set it in place to help you remember to complete the exercise. It could be on your desk at work, it can be on your kitchen or bathroom counter, or it can be in your vehicle. And what I want you to do is I want you to think about a good event, when you think about a goal that you achieved or something that someone did for you. And I want you to ask yourself several questions. Why did this good thing happen? What this good thing means to you, what you can do tomorrow to enable more of this good thing, what ways you or others contributed to this good thing. And the questions are key to ensuring that you get the benefit from this skill. It makes the exercise more meaningful and it creates more positive emotion. I want you to try this skill daily. But eventually, I want you to find the right time and frequency for you. Don't force it. It shouldn't feel like a chore. And don't do it just when you're under stress. Remember, regular practice during low stress will enable you to better implement the skill during high stress. Consistency means you are more likely to create a habit. And the practice is going to get you there. So now go find 3 good things from the last 24 hours and reflect on the positive emotions. Once again, welcome to Rising Tide Resilience. Please request to join our closed Facebook group and become part of the resilience development movement. My name is Neil Wattier. I look forward to helping you on your resilience journey.